Well, this is not your first rodeo. In fact, you've probably owned several homes in the past. If you're looking at this 55 plus community, then you've enjoyed a lot of successes in life. And what we're going to do is a little different. Yes, we're going to tour two beautiful model homes. We're going to also pull back the curtain and look at the true cost of living in one of our 55 plus vibrant luxury boutique gated communities here in our Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex. We're going to take a deep dive, price versus cost. I mean, what does it mean to actually own your home plus part of the green space and the amenity center? Now that's got you leaning in. What does this lock and leave lifestyle mean? Where I don't have to do anything to my yard? Oh yes, that's a bonus. Put a check by that. And I also want to talk to you about what it means and what are the maybe hidden price of having that room with a view. Well, we're going to cover that and so much more. So you want to stick to the end, and I'm going to uncover what it really costs to live in one of our newest 55 plus communities in our Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex, Ladera at Timberbrook in Justin, Texas. Well, with that, let's jump right in. Oh, by the way, remember, subscribe, share, and give us a thumbs up. I know that being 55 plus does not mean you've slowed down at all. You are not sitting in a rocker all day with a blanket over your lap. You are still very active, which makes this space the perfect flex space. It's a fantastic area for your home office, study, your hobby room, your exercise space. It's your home. Use it however you want. This model home is the Costello, which is part of the Reserve series, and I'm going to point out some of the differences that you will be able to experience between the Reserve and the Signature series. Let's start with the kitchen. One of the dominating features of this kitchen is the oversized kitchen island with 10-inch overhang for bar seating. This island has the leather finish, but as a standard, your kitchen countertops will have granite. You'll have 42-inch tall upper cabinets and gas top with the option of having an electric cooktop. Okay, so I want you to hop in the comments. Here is my question for all my cooking experts. Do you prefer cooking with gas or electricity? And tell me why. Comment and let me know. And if you were impressed with the number of cabinets in the kitchen, take a look at this pantry where you can store, stash, and stock up until your heart is content. The primary suite needs no introduction, yet I will still speak on it because it's so beautiful. I'm going to be the hype man or the hype woman for this area, because what better place is there to just luxuriate and relax after a long day than right here? And if you think this looks special, wait till we get into your spa-like bath. One of my favorite things about bathrooms or the separate vanities, two vanities makes one happy couple, but you'll have the extra tall 31-inch height vanity, which are, a back saver if you ask me. And the other thing that you'll enjoy is a really nice walk-in shower. Now, as a standard, it will be a frame shower. Obviously, this is an option. But you'll notice that in Ladera and many of our 55 plus communities, you have an oversized shower versus having a shower with a tub. Now, you might be able to do that in the design center and once you really get your plan together, but for the most part, expect that walk-in shower as a standard. And the closet, well, come on, how nice is that? Before we step out into the backyard, let me tell you a little bit more about the lock and leave lifestyle. There are a lot of things to worry about, think about, and consider, and your lawn does not have to be one of them. Imagine this, and this won't be a stretch of your imagination because I'm pretty sure you have experienced this before. You've mowed your yard on Monday. Well, your neighbor mows his yard Thursday. So you have the not quite manicured and not quite the precision look that you like. Well, guess what? This 55 plus community has you covered. There are specified schedules and routines for your lawn to keep it beautiful and your neighbor's lawn beautiful all year long. Now they vary when the treatments and the services, depending upon if we're in some of the months where the grass is dormant. But let me give you just a little sneak peek. I mean, I've got several pages here to share, but I won't go over them all. But the important points that you need to know. As far as your lawn care, they're going to mow, edge, trim at least 38 times a year. And of course, not our dormant months. They're going to also take care of your fertilization, post and pre-emergent, fire ant spot treatment. Now, when I say fire ants, if you're not from Texas, you may or may not be aware that sometimes we get a lot of rain, it just stirs stuff up. And some of the stuff that's stirred up are fire ants. And never have I ever had anyone say, oh, Tracey, my favorite part of doing lawn is being, well, bitten and stung by the fire ants. So I'm just saying, if you're not aware, be aware. This is such a huge benefit to take care of all of your lawn, even the things that you may not even thought need to be taken care of. You'll thank me later. Now let's talk about your flower beds. So they're going to replace your mulch, pre and post emergent, weed pulling, how nice is that? Trim your hedges, work on the ground cover, and fertilization. So I really don't know what else you could want in a yard service or a community where all the yards are going to look really nice, already scheduled for maintenance, so that when you come home at the end of a long day, you see your beautiful lawn and your neighbors. Well, this would be a good time to point out some more standard features. In the Reserve series, you're going to have this beautiful fireplace as a standard option in the Signature series. Let's talk flooring. As a standard, you will have the tile wood-like flooring in your main areas, 10-foot tall ceilings, and 8-foot tall interior doors. This is a Castella floor plan with nearly 2,500 square feet. And if you feel as though that is still a little bit more home than you want because you really want to downsize even more, well, they have a plan starting at about 1,900 square feet. In the Reserve series, you have the option to have a 3rd-car garage and 2.5 bath. We'll talk more about prices, elevation, views, and so much more in just a bit. And this is where you might want to grab a snack and come back because I have a whole lot to unpack. First of all, you're welcome. You got to see a beautiful 55 plus community with state-of-the-art amenities. I haven't even told you about those yet, so hang tight. But at this point, I want to talk to you about some of the cost, what it really will cost to have that room with a view, and some of the benefits of being in a COA, Condominium Owners Association, versus a HOA, which most of you are very familiar with. Like it, love it, or not, you know what that is. So one of the benefits of being in a COA is that you have transparency in fees and dues. So here in Justin, Ladera, they are projected to have 156 home sites at its completion. Now think about this for a moment. Many of our larger communities, they have the multiple different phases. And some of the phases aren't finished for years. And if you've lived in an HOA, you've noticed that your dues and your fees can kind of increase over time because you have so much green space, so much area that, is designed for future development. There are some people, you've lived in your home for 20 years and you remember when your HOA fees were just really nominal. They were just really, really low. And then now this year, man, you look at your dues, you're like, golly, my fees have almost quadrupled. And that is honestly some of the things that I've heard with other people who've lived in 55 plus communities, especially these really large ones, that the dues have just kind of creeped up over time. So they're no longer really low. But when you know that you're going to have 156 homes, those fees are pretty much locked. They may go up a little bit because, prices do go up, but you're not going to see that dramatic flip. So I would consider that as a benefit of living in a COA. Let's talk about it some more. Control and turnover. So when you live in a COA, by law, the developer has to turn over the control to the community, to you, upon 75% completion. In an HOA, well, a third party company can manage and control the HOA, your amenities and things, versus you as the homeowner. Let's talk about those reserve funds. Required by law, the COA reserve funds for the future repairs and maintenance of common areas. Whereas with the HOA, because the expansion can be so varied, it's really hard to control those prices. So you might leave yourself to a little vulnerability with expense. The ownership of the COA, those amenities, the amenity center, you as an owner, you own a part, like for example, there's 156 homes, you will own 156 portion of the amenity center, whereas with the HOA owns the amenity center and some of those green spaces and other things within the community. So that's another big difference. I mean, you do your own research about COAs versus HOAs, but those are a few of the points that I want to share with you that I thought would really make a difference in something you should know. Oh, by the way, if this is your first time to this channel and you like to be in the know of what's going down around town, remember, subscribe, share, and give us a thumbs up. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to enjoy this tour of the Torino, which is the signature series here in Ladera. Well, let's check out this living space. Oh, it looks so beautiful. Can you imagine just cozying up to that fireplace? Well, it is an option in the signature series. It comes standard in the reserve. You'll still enjoy the wood-like tile flooring in your main areas, and this kitchen, where there are some slight differences. For one, in this particular series, the signature series, you have 36-inch tall upper cabinets. You're still going to enjoy the granite. You're still going to enjoy the oversized kitchen island with a 10-inch overhang for bar seating. You will still enjoy cooking on gas cooktop with the option to have electric. I still want to hear from you. Do you really think electric is as good as gas? I don't know. And you do have this nice pantry, and this pantry, yes, it is smaller than in the reserves, but this might be the perfect size for you. Although there's no formal dining room, but not many people use formal dining rooms anymore, I want you to look at the size of this space where you can still have a buffet, a hutch, a china cabinet right here in this area. I don't see a lot of difference between the reserve and the signature series and your primary suite. The biggest difference I think I see is the shower. Remember the reserve that we saw before had the really huge oversized shower. I imagine depending on your floor plan, you can still get a massive shower even in the signature series. You'll still enjoy the extra large oversized, I can just get lost in here closet, with the convenience of having your laundry room just on the other side of the door. When we take a look at these model homes, we often talk about what's optional and what's standard. But as a native Texan, I am telling you, having a ceiling fan attached to your oversized patio is not an option. It is going to be much needed and appreciated. It's Texas, y'all. You're welcome. The other thing that you may not notice in the Signature versus the Reserve are your 9 feet tall ceilings and your about 7 feet tall doorways. But there's so many other things that are very similar, including you can have a beautiful flex space, office space, hobby room, exercise room. It's your home. Use it however you choose. I've also heard several people comment on how wide they feel the entryway is, and I think that's a bonus. And we're going to wrap this tour up with a spacious sized guest bedroom and a hall bath. But before we go, hang in there, I want to tell you a little bit more about the Signature Series. So this is the Torino, and it comes in at about 1884 square feet. And this is a real good barometer to see how you think this size fits and if it's a right fit for you. You can have a Signature Series home because they have 6 other plans, starting at 1322 square feet all the way to over 2,900 square feet. Now in the Signature Series, you can have a 2-story home and 3 full baths. Now let's talk price, cost, and the other things. So let's talk about what you will enjoy since you are going to be part owner of these amenities. You'll have a swimming pool with shade, and thank goodness because we are in Texas, so of course you want to lounge around the pool with shade. You're going to have pickleball courts, walking paths, gated entry, outdoor kitchen, entertaining, fitness studio, group exercise, fire pit, community catch and release pond, and a wellness center where you can actually get massages. I'm telling you, I need to move over there like now. Now here's the other part, the money. The room with a view. Now you can have it, but you're just gonna have to pay for it. So let's just do a refresher of what you're gonna get living in Ladera. So there are 14 different floor plans. You can get a home up to a 3-bedroom, up to a 3-bath, 3-car garage. They even have a 2-story plan. I mean, if you want to climb the stairs, knock yourself out. But it is available if that seems to be something you want. Now, let's talk about prices. The prices would start at about $375,000 up to the low $600,000. And here are some prices that if you're in the 55 plus community, you already know that you're going to pay a difference in price depending upon your elevation. If you want brick and stone and all these different beautiful elements, you're gonna pay for it. If you want all those different options because you don't do basic, so you're definitely going to upgrade, get these options. You don't do standard because standard is just too boring for you. Well, your exquisite taste will cost you. You can have it, you just have to pay for it. And here's something that's really important that I want to point out because I did have someone who fell in love with Ladera, and this is not uncommon, that you have the price. When I say the price, that's the base price. That's to get you in the home and into the community. Here is a hidden cost. Well, it's not that hidden. You just didn't consider it. And that is the view. So if you like that view of a pond, you want to be able to look out your kitchen window and see the paths and trails. Well, that can cost you around $100,000. When you do the math, $375,000, and we can't even do the math on your options and your elevation because you'll just go wild with that. But we can add about $100,000 to that. Now $375 can easily be $475. So I just wanted to point that out to you so the dollars make sense. Hi, I'm Tracey Serrell with the DFW Life, and I trust that you've gotten a deeper appreciation. You're able to take a deep dive with me with the true price of living in one of our newest boutique luxury 55 plus communities in Justin, Texas. Because I know you really enjoy looking at those model homes. And oftentimes we get really wrapped up into those. But sometimes we need to take a pause to see what are the other prices, costs, and expenses of living there. And I was able to show you the difference between the COA and the HOA. Of course, you love the lock and leave concept. So let me know if Ladera there at Timberbrook is something that you're really interested in. Comment below, grab one of the one-on-one consultation links. And if you're like, Trace, I'm just now starting out, really exploring living my life in a 55 plus community, then that's okay. I still want to hear from you so that I can help you better discover which one of those communities in our different cities, communities, and suburbs will be the best place for you to create your new memories and call home.